And we are back. Firstly, I just need to apologise. My voice still hasn't fully recovered from the weekend yet, so apologies if I'm a bit of a mess in this video. But secondly, I have to say a massive thank you to everyone who liked and commented on my England reaction video. Obviously, England did bow out in the quarter-final stages to France, so I did my usual reaction. Went a little bit longer than usual because it was more of a wrap-up for the whole tournament in terms of an England perspective and my hopes and thoughts about what we should be doing going forward. So again, just thank you to everyone that did like and comment your opinions on that video. If you did miss that, it was the previous video on this channel and it will be available to you at the end of this video as well. So make sure you do check it out. It's not had as many views as my usual predictions, but it's had a lot more interactions than the likes and the comments. So one more final thank you on that. And yeah, make sure you do check that out. As for everything else, the rest of that day didn't go very well either because, as you all know, Portugal were the team I was backing to win the World Cup if it wasn't going to be England. They, of course, lost to Morocco, which meant that I did lose that overall prediction of Portugal winning. And we also lost the potential of that Ronaldo-Messi World Cup final, which was my hope if England didn't make it to the final. So a lot of things that went wrong. Not only that, I was sitting around the 1,000th in the world mark when it came to the World Cup fantasy football, which is the position I have never been in on any sort of fantasy football before. I was only like 20 points off top spot, sitting around 1,000th, and sadly, I'd gone for the Brazilians and the Portuguese in the quarterfinal stage, so I've now dropped away, and it's looking like I'm going to need some sort of miracle, including points deductions, if I'm going to have any chance of competing for the top spot in that, but still a good experience and hopefully redeem some of my fantasy football credentials after what hasn't been a great Premier League fantasy football this year if you've been watching those series. But yeah, all in all, a rubbish day on the final day of quarterfinals. But we're still here. It's now semi-final time, so we're going to run through our usual process, wrap up what those results mean for the series. Then we will talk about the first semi-final in today's video. And then, of course, we'll have another video tomorrow for the second semi-final. So make sure you are liking this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of that. Let's just get straight into it. So these were, of course, the two quarterfinals from the second day of quarterfinals. These were the results. And in terms of actual prediction points, it's not gone too badly. I can't complain too much about what happened in the Morocco-Portugal game. It did, of course, end 1-0 to Morocco, so no points in that one for me there. Then, of course, in the England game, we went for 3-1 France, and it was 2-1 to France, so 2 points in that one. We already spoke about my relative disappointments to both of them, so we'll just move straight on. It was, of course, a matchday score of 2, which means my tournament score now up to 44, which does mean if I can accurately predict the result, at least, for the remaining 3 games, or it's 4 games actually, of this World Cup, we still have a chance of hitting my initial tournament target of 50. So, as always, let me know down in the comments how you got on. Let's look ahead to tonight's semi-final, which is between Argentina and Croatia. And if I'm being honest with you, I really don't know. I really don't know. I think this is such a hard game to call. I think tomorrow's game is incredibly hard to call as well, which you'd hope from a World Cup semi-final. It's the latter stage of the tournament. You'd be a little bit concerned if it was just very easy to go, oh, this team is going to win easy. So, yeah. I have to look at it from the perspective of I'm still not convinced by Argentina. And I said this, I wasn't convinced by Brazil, I wasn't convinced by Argentina. I've not been convinced by the South Americans the whole way through. And I look at this Croatia team, and I said it the other day, they just don't know when to die. And there is a massive part of me that is very tempted to just go 0-0 penalties. I'm very tempted to do that. However, as I've spoken about before on this channel, I hate going for 0-0 draws, especially when it's the only game being played this day. To go for a 0-0 draw is incredibly boring. So I'm not going to do that. I am instead going to go for a 1-1 draw and say penalties. I mean, it doesn't have to, for the purpose of the series, it doesn't have to be penalties. The game can now be sorted in extra time. The whole point is I'm predicting 1-1 for 90 minutes. And then it just comes down to who do I think will win it if it goes beyond the 90 minutes. And from what I've seen so far this tournament, I have to go for Croatia. And yeah, I just think it's justified. They've done so well. It's that midfield 3 again, Brozovic, Modric and Kovacic. They've looked dangerous at times going forward as well. Defensively, they've been solid. And like I said, Argentina, for me, just haven't done enough. They've not played significantly tough opposition. You can say what you want about, oh, Holland's a big team, and but that's not a great Dutch team. I mean, how many of those Dutch players would get in any of the Dutch teams from the last 20 or 30 years? I'd say not many. I'd really say not many. And Argentina scraped through them on penalties. So I have to feel like, I know Croatia aren't necessarily the best team either, but they've proven it over the last few years. This team got to the World Cup final 4 years ago. They know what it takes to get through this stage. I know Argentina obviously got to the final in 2014, but not a lot of those players are still in the squad, where it's the majority of the Croatia squad from 4 years ago playing today. So that's where my heart is lying. My head is saying, of course, Argentina could, of course, turn up and win this game. No doubt about it. But I've just not seen enough from them this tournament, and I really believe that Croatia have what it takes to get through them today. So that is what I am going to go for. As always, let me know down in the comments what you think is going to happen in tonight's game, what you think of my prediction. And one last reminder, of course, to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, as always, and I will see you tomorrow morning, where we'll discuss the result of this game and then look ahead to Morocco against France. I'll see you then.